Welcome to the fight of your life. Are you willing to die to shine? Nobody is taking us down. We are here for the crown of sound.
Okay, right now we've got the incredible frontman and singer from one of the bands that I love that, hey man, they've been making great music since the beginning of the century and they have not let up. Their latest album has had 5 or 6 hit singles, and believe me, it's just gonna keep on going. We're talking about the album Ego Trip. With us today, the one and only Jacoby Shaddix from Papa Roach. What's up, Jacoby?
Hey, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Good to see
So
you
good.
guys. What's up, fellas?
How are you? We're really happy to see you, Jacoby. I just got to tell you, man, it's great that you took a break. You're making a new video for a song that's in our top 10 right now, which is Cut the Line. And, you know, we love that track, but I'm excited to see what you're going to do with it now. You know, can we talk about the fact that this record has given so many hits to rock? I mean, you've had so many rock hits on this album, Ego Trip. Talk to me about that because, you know, you went into a period of writing this stuff, I think right before maybe the pandemic, and man, it has just been an album that has resonated with so many of your fans. Talk to me about making this record.
You know, this record was just like, we dug deep on this one straight up, you know, and I think taking some time away, forced time away from the road and really just focusing on the music allowed us a bit, I guess, less pressure in a way to make an album because, you know, the cycle we've been on for the last 20 years is just grinding, right? It's like go tour for a year and a half, then come home, say hi to the family, and then back in the studio. And, you know, it kind of felt like I lost my way for a minute, you know? And so it was kind of a blessing in disguise for all of us in the band, you know, personally and creatively. And I think it shows on the record, you know. It's like we just threw the fuck down on this one, and it's super adventurous. It's very eclectic and all over the place. But I think the lyrics are the thread that kind of weaves this whole piece together, and it's a very important record to I believe our catalog, you know, and especially this time around, releasing it on our own imprint, our own label, right, and making all the decisions, you know, on Zoom calls similar to this, you know, with the band, and we're like trying to figure out what the first single is, who we're going to work with on the artwork, and just, you know, that whole process, man. It's like it's almost full circle back to like 1997, 98 for us in a way.
Back to the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Jacoby, great to see you, my friend. You know, one of the great things I love about working with you the last couple of years especially is, you know, I feel like, you know, you guys have, you know, it's so weird because obviously I remember when you were the hot new band, right? But you've really have emerged with these amazing, like, I thought the first to be the elder statesman to really sort of come and say, hey, I want to work with these younger artists. I want to play with them. And, you know, obviously got to see you on tour with The Day to Remember, fantastic tour. Now you've taken Falling Reverse out and Hollywood Undead, and done these incredible Rockzilla tours. What's it been like, you know, playing with all these younger bands and frankly, many times, you know, out rocking them and outpacing them? But I just feel like you've been such a great ambassador.
Hey, man, you know, I love what I do. That's what it comes down to. You know, I have a passion for music, and I love people as well, man. It's like I'm the cat at a festival trying to get to know who these young cats are. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just like holed away in my dressing room, you know, like call me for stage time. You know what I mean? It's just not my MO. You know, I'm a man for the people, straight up. You know, and I'm a fan of these young bands. Like, got Caleb from Beartooth finally on one of my tracks. Like, you know, I remember seeing those dudes for the first time. I was in, I think, the El Rey Theater or something like that. Yep. And I was in the mosh pit, straight ripping it. Right, like that's the kind of guy I am. And love that band Beartooth. You know, and so to be able to have that dude on a track with us is dope. You know, and then to take a guy like Ronnie and his boys in Falling Reverse out on tour, like that cat's blowing up, right? And I feel like it's an opportunity for us to win over new fans, you know, because it's like, I mean, yeah, we're like elder statesmen, right? But it's like when we approach music, it's like it just feels like fresh and timeless to me, you know. And it's important that I let these young motherfuckers know what's up.
That's the best. And
It's
you do.
important to me.
You know, here's the thing that's really cool too, Jacoby. I mean, let's face it, you become such a part of culture and pop culture because, you know, my daughter was born the year your first album came out in
Oh,
Fest.
shit!
And
She was,
yeah, my
she
youngest,
was consummated to the
yeah,
album.
yeah. Anyway, so she loves Last Resort. And she goes, Dad, what do you mean came out the year I was born? She had no idea. To her, it was just another great new Papa Roach song. And I love that. And then let's talk about the fact that these young artists have loved working with you. There's two things I have to bring up. First of all, Jarris Johnson, you know, he blew up by doing that mashup of Papa Roach on TikTok and YouTube. And then, of course, you embraced him and did stuff with him. And then recently, you know, Yellow Jackets, that TV show on Showtime, is talking all about, you know, the band and about A Last Resort. Talk to me about what it feels like just to realize that you become this part of culture and what that means.
Yeah, man. It's a trip. Like these are the things I dreamt of as like a 16-year-old kid, right? These moments where our music would be feathered into film or the pop culture narrative, you know, when people were talking about music or even comedy, right? Like Saturday Night Live just did a skit and they're like, my cocaine's so white, it's like cut my life into pieces. You know, like, what's up, dude? That's dope, man. And it really blows me away, to be completely honest. And this journey, like, you know, I say it's what I dreamt of, but it's like it's exceeding those dreams, honestly. And I still like I still appreciate those moments, and I'm still like there's this innocence I think still in me as a writer and as a creator that allows me to still celebrate like little micro victories like that, you know, and then realize that fuck, man, maybe that's a major victory. Like we're still here ripping it, man. We're still making a connection with people through music, you know, and having this iconic song like Last Resort in the arsenal that like keeps coming back and just smashing people. And it feels just like you said, your daughter said, it felt like it feels fresh. Like what more could I ask for, you know? And so that gives us an opportunity to go back and write new records and try to get another banger like that and try to like top that and try to, you know what I mean? And it's a good space I'm in right now. I'm definitely celebrating it for sure.
I think that's such a great way you put that, right? Like all that stuff does feel timeless to me. It's without genre or sort of time. And another thing that I have to heap praise upon you and your bandmates is I don't think there's any rock band out there in my opinion, as savvy as far as using social media and TikTok and other content. I saw a great video the other day. They set this girl up in a very beautiful way, but they were going to film a documentary about Papa Roach and invited this girl down to talk. And when she gets in the car, Papa Roach is in the car, Jacoby's driving, and they ambushed her with a Papa Roach carpool karaoke. And I thought this was one of the sweetest things I'd ever seen. It looked like you guys were having an incredible time. Tell me about like, you know, sort of the band and your philosophy on all this social media stuff, because I think you guys could teach a class on it.
Yeah, well, here I'll tell you, man, it's because in the beginning, I had no desire to be involved in anything social media, straight up. I was just like, when MySpace came around, I'm like, huh, who's Space? You know, and then I finally had like jumped in at the Facebook level, right? And I was like, oh, I'll try this social media thing out. And then I found myself sitting on my computer way too much, right? So then I'm like, all right, how do I have this like healthy relationship with this thing? And then came along our guitar player's brother, Chad, and then my brother, Bryson, became part of our social media team because they're like 10, 12 years younger than us, right? Yep. And so they grew up with it. And, you know, we like the old dogs that like to learn new tricks, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, they told us, hey man, there's value in this thing. And I've seen it, right? And the way that we engage in it, we want it to be authentic. We want it to have a sense of humor. We also want it to be, you know, feel like something natural. And we want to celebrate other artists through it. We want to discover other artists through it. We want to promote our music through it. And it's just another way to get to the people, right? Because when I'm home and I'm off the road, how do I grab your attention, right? Because there's a million things trying to grab your attention, and social media is one of those things. And we have, like I said, Zoom calls like this similar where we're riffing ideas and some of them I'm like, oh hell no, I'm not doing that. And they're like, okay, cool. What do you think about this one? And we'll evolve it and flip it up. But yeah, that carpool karaoke one with that girl was super cool, man. We did it with like 4 or 5 different people that day. So we'll be dropping those, and it's like the reaction is great every time.
I can't wait to see that. And I gotta say, we're rock and roll dads, right? You, me, and Josh are all dads. And one of the things I think is so cool is when you did the pizza party for the release.
I prefer the term DILFs.
Yeah,
DILFs.
We totally do.
Oh,
Yeah.
Good. I hope someone's calling.
Can we get that
DILFs.
as a lower third?
I like that. That came down there by the QR code to vote on videos. Josh, Josh, I'm calling now. Anyway,
He's losing
I love this. I love it. But I gotta tell you, Jacoby. So one of the things that's cool is like watching you get up and perform with your boys, your sons, and getting them to music and having them get up and rap with you and perform. Talk to me about that, because there's so many people that I know watch the Power Hour that have kids that are rock fans. Yeah. That's just a really cool thing. Talk to me about what that feels like, and tell me what your sons have said to you like about doing that with you.
Well, I mean, how it feels, it's surreal, honestly. And my son Jagger, he's the boy that had gotten up with me at that point, and he loves music. He's been playing drums since he was 3 years old. He's kicking beats. He loves to play metal. You know what I mean? That's like his thing. He loves to play metal and then 90s hip hop on the drums. Those are his 2 things. But then he also writes raps, and he's been writing raps now for probably since he was like 12 or 13. So he's 18 now, and he's just taking his iPhone with the little headphones and like recording it himself right there with the little teeny mic and writing his own songs. And he was like, hit me up. He's like, Dad, what do you think I come up on Dead Cell? Come rap that one with you. I was like, well, let's spit the bars, son. We're sitting in the kitchen, right, when I'm home. I'm like, well, see what you got, dude. And he's pacing around the kitchen and he's throwing it down. And I'm like, oh, all right. Yeah. Like, you got it. And so he's got a passion for the music. He really does, And my little boy, Brixton, he's 9. He's been playing drums for a few years. He just got a bass. Christian from Falling in Reverse gave my son Brixton a bass guitar. And because he heard Tobin was giving him bass lessons backstage. And so Christian was like, dude. So he blessed us with this bass. And Brixton's in there, like, getting his little slapping the bass going. And it's cool to hear that like racket going on in the background of my home, because it's like, it's just a beautiful sound to me. It's like, rock and roll's alive in my house. You know what I mean? That's and to have him on stage, have Jagger on stage, that shit was dope. That kid, I'm like, fans were hitting the message board. They're like, you got to release a version with him on it. And I'm like, we'll see. Who knows?
That's great.
He's going to rake him over the coals with with the contract negotiations.
Oh yeah, totally, dude.
Well, obviously, Jacoby, this will be our final question. But as you know, for our years and years of interviewing you, I can't let you off the hook and not discuss hair before we go. And Jacoby is my hair idol. When I was, always have aspired to Shaddix level hair products and hair quality. Jacoby, who is your hair idol? I've always been curious.
Billy Idol.
Billy Idol.
Billy Idol, who's going to be on the show next week.
Are you serious?
On next week?
Yes, he is.
Oh, dude, tell Billy I said what's up. Tell me, I mean, it's not exactly like Billy does because he keeps it like longer on the sides, but I'll tell you, like through the years, the band's like, dude, why don't you grow your hair out or do that? And I'm like, fucking, you think Billy Idol grows his fucking hair out? You think he grows his hair out? No.
I think it's great.
We have to edit this
Really
now in with next week's show.
Yeah, I got to there's one more thing I want to say, okay, and ask you about, because you and I are both dudes in recovery, and one of the things we do to keep our heads like on straight, besides rock and roll, because we need music all the time and love it, is exercise, man. And every festival that we've been on, like in the same place, you are out in the morning running. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong camera. All right, yeah. And I'll look over here. You are out in the morning, and man, you are running, and I'll be texting you and going, Jacoby, how much are you running this morning? You go, 8 miles. I'm doing 8 miles every day, and I'm like, holy shit, that's amazing, dude. Talk to me about that. I love the fact that, you show people how it's done. You will not be outdone when it comes to just getting out there and showing people the energy, and then you bring it on stage that night. Talk to me about it.
Oh man, I just got this inner fat child that's trying to rule my life, and running is the way to crush the inner fat child. It's like, for me, it's therapeutic. It's like when I wake up in the morning, sometimes it's like there's this like anger in me, and it's sometimes physicality is the thing that kind of helps me unwind some of that. And I come to a lot of conclusions and new answers and ideas, and conceptualize things while I'm running, and so sometimes I'm out there without the headphones and just thinking and talking to myself and working things out, so when I come back, I'm like, I can do this. And I got to tell you, dude, I ran so much and did not stretch. I got myself in trouble. It felt like I was like kicked in my balls 24 hours for probably about like 5-6 months, man. I was not in a good way. So anybody out there putting the miles in, stretch. I'm telling you. So
You gotta stretch.
You gotta stretch.
Thank you for sharing that with me too, because I've been neglecting to stretch lately.
Hey, dude.
Absolutely.
Working, son. You gotta let these young fools know who still got it. Matt Pinfield still got it.
Yes.
Bernstein still got it.
Well, Jacoby, I just want to say on behalf of all of us here at the Power Hour, thank you so much for coming on. We want to send our best to you and, of course, all your amazing bandmates and family. Thank you so much for coming on. We can't wait to see you out there, or I'll see you at the hair aisle. One of the two. I'll see you soon. We love you, man.
You know it, baby. Good rapping with y'all, man. Thank you, guys.